were supposed to be.
I like but God, every goddamn time.
One time you'll get there.
Oh, whoa.
You will, I swear you will. So,
Oh.
hey, welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of Geek Spot News. Lots happened in the last week since we had our previous episode.
Has it?
Lots of trailers, lots of finales, lots of premieres, so many things.
Big stuff happening this weekend.
Well, I don't even know what's going on this weekend, but there's more stuff, apparently.
Lots of stuff.
There's chicken jockeys. There's all of the things happening, all of the people. So thanks for joining us. You can always check us out on the Facebook at Geek Spot News, on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. Do all those things. If you're listening to the audio version, give us a rating. Tell a friend. You know, whether it's Spotify, don't use YouTube Music because it's awful, and or Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts. So hey, how you been, Frank?
My camera was tilted the wrong way, and I was like 4 feet higher than you, and it was really weird.
Oh,
yeah. How have I been? It's been a week. I can say that. No hockey this week so far until Sunday. Watched some TV shows. Started to rewatch a TV show that I never actually technically didn't finish.
Oh no.
What else?
I can't wait to hear what that one is.
Did a big wrestling podcast last night with T. That was fun. We got WrestleMania coming up this weekend. Jay ordered 2 kendo sticks for us. That'll be delivered Friday.
To hit each other in the legs.
Yeah, not the legs, but yeah, we're gonna. One's going to Matt's and one's going to Ray's. We're gonna do Saturday night at Matt's and then Sunday night at Ray's.
Okay.
I took off Monday.
It's probably a good plan for you.
Excellent plan for me. Matt is gonna fire up Grill Cosby on Saturday, maybe smoke some ribs. Yes, Matt's grill name. We christened it Grill Cosby.
Oh, all right.
You never know what's coming out of it.
Nope. Nope.
And over in Japan this weekend, we have Star Wars Celebration.
There is Star Wars Celebration.
Starts tomorrow, actually. Starts the 18th for those not listening live.
So next week we'll have all sorts of exciting news from there.
I hope so.
I bet they get the, if I remember right, they got the first episode of Andor a couple years ago at one of the celebrations.
Yeah.
So I bet we get the same, or maybe it was Ahsoka they got.
I don't like when they do that. It seems like they're going to be doing that for Superman. Like New Zealand and a couple other places are going to get Superman like a day before the rest of the world. And it's going to really suck.
Oh, yeah, that never works out.
To be online, yeah. And I did get my ticket to see Dogma in May with Kevin Smith. I think Matt's going to go with me.
That's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have the entire night blocked out.
Yeah.
In case Kev decides to chat a little bit.
Well, it's Philly, so I expect him to kind of go long.
Yes.
He's close to home.
Which is ironic that the only spot in Philly he can do is in the Chamonix.
Yeah. I got tickets late, so our seats are a little closer than I'd like, and there weren't many together.
You'll smell all the lavender.
I will smell all the lavender. That's fine. We're closer to what would be the stage, hopefully.
Yeah, when I was at Hollywood Babylon a couple years ago, 7 years ago now, I guess. He was still smoking a lot of weed.
Yeah,
and it was you could hear or smell when they opened the side door to let him into the theater.
Yeah, that's fun. What about you? You've been funking around.
Yeah, there's been concerts and there was a district concert my kid was playing on Monday. That's what happened with that show. Tuesday, there was playing during first intermission at the Flyers game with the jazz band there at his school, and they don't have a bass player, so I've been helping out. So I've been at all those.
Did you play? Where were you like when we did it with the band?
By the 11th Street entrance?
Where we did it with the band? You might not have been with the band when we did it.
No, last time I played there, and was at a Flyers game. Even was probably 15, 16 years ago when AT&T Pavilion opened.
Wow.
And then
Well,
I used to play around the outside when it
yep.
first opened.
When they
Well, when
did
it
the
was still the
block
Spectrum,
parties.
actually. I think it was still
Oh,
the Spectrum we were playing at then, because Wells
oh
Fargo
my.
may have just opened in like, when did that open? 98, 99?
Yeah, it was early. I remember the Rockets played there a bunch of the block parties, which were they were cool because they were there, but we didn't get to go into the game, so it sucked. And then the
Right.
one time we played inside, and it was Mark Howell's jersey.
Mm.
They were doing his jersey or his Hall. I forget what it was, but it was a Mark Howell's thing. And a friend of mine was there with his wife, and they were like 4 rows from the ice, and they came up and didn't even know we were playing. And he was like, "Hey, do you want to sit and watch a little bit of the game? My wife wants to go get something to eat." I was like, "Oh my god, yes!"
Nice.
But yeah, once the gig was over, they were like, "Get the f out! You're not seeing the game. We're not paying for that."
That makes sense.
Yeah, still cool experience though, right?
Yeah, look, yeah, it's a blast, and it was all like I said, it was a bunch of middle school kids got to do it, so good for them. They had fun.
That's
Um,
awesome.
I watched some stuff. I'm still working my way through. Speaking of Kevin Smith, the guy that recommended that foods that built America, I'm
Yep.
still powering my way through that. I just learned all about ice cream and how the popsicle started,
Oh, that's kind of neat.
and how the ice cream truck started, and just got done like the fast food wars, and didn't realize that American cheese was like legit a full on invention that never existed before, until they had to figure out how to get it to stay longer than like a day and start getting
Somehow
moldy.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, so
Huh.
fascinating show. But yeah, not a whole lot. I mean, this, Easter coming up, got a full band show tomorrow night down the street in Levittown. So
Jesus does not want me hanging around on Easter. He wants me to watch WrestleMania.
that
So
sounds accurate for you.
I'm going to do it Jesus once this year. My kids
Yeah,
are
and
grown, so Easter for me is a throwaway day. We get a half day tomorrow. Again, thank you, Jesus, for what you did for all our sins. Because I get a half day out of it. That's as far as that.
fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, and we had, like I said, there's a bunch of other debuts and finales and stuff last week too that we don't even usually hit. There's Yellow Jackets, Doctor Who, Hacks.
Listen, I know
They
Doctor
did
Who.
some things.
I understand Doctor Who's there, and I am going to honor my word after WrestleMania weekend. I promise I will start Doctor Who. You are powering through the office, so I am.
I'm like
not
9 million episodes into The Office at this point.
you have been watching The Office for about 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to get through. I think I got through 3 episodes this week.
That's all right. I'm
It's
excited
not
for
good.
it. It's my favorite part of this show now. More than the list is you watching The Office.
Oh wow, that's a lot. So speaking of lists,
Yes.
let's go. We're in our top 25,
Yes.
which I'm sure you hope will have most of the Office cast in this part. I would
Well,
assume Toby will be there.
Andy Buckley. Oh wait, I'm looking at the Office thing. Never mind. Andy Buckley is David Wallace.
Got it.
All right. So let's just jump right in. To recap, number 26 was Bridget Everett as Sam Miller in Somebody Somewhere, and we both went who?
Exactly.
Or at least I went who. Yeah, no clue. I had zero idea of that. 1 second. All right. And sorry, I gotta find. Oh no.
That was the HBO. Yeah.
No,
HBO
that
put out a lot of stuff that nobody's ever heard of. I wonder.
I hit the button to launch Steam, and that's not what I wanted to do.
Good. I wonder if Nathan Felder will be on here for the rehearsal, which is one of the weirdest shows. I talked about that on the show a couple years ago when the first season of the rehearsal aired. But the rehearsal season 2 is coming soon, so I'm sure it's just as weird and awkward as the first one.
Well, jumping right in at number 25 is Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Fleabag from Fleabag.
That's warranted. She's fantastic.
She's great in Indiana Jones and the Why Did We Do This movie.
Yeah, Fleabag was a fantastic show. It was she wrote and starred, so it was all her.
Yeah.
Kind of quirky. Speaking of her Tomb Raider just fell through.
Oh no.
She was supposed to be rebooting
I
the live action Tomb Raider
I
for
remember
Amazon.
that. Oh, I didn't even see that fell through. That's a shame.
Yeah, it was last week or so.
Number 24, we have Catherine O'Hara as Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek. That's a show that I never actually watched that probably is right up my alley.
Yeah, I feel like that would be should be my comedy after I'm done The Office.
Well, currently my comedy is Big Bang Theory, which
Oh.
I went all the way back and started at like season 4 or 5, I think.
Oh, you skipped the good seasons?
Yeah, I remember I was a hardcore watcher up until a certain point, and I'm at the episode where they go to Stewart's Halloween party as the Justice League, and I know I've seen this because
I thought
Penny
they went
does
to
his Wonder
Comic-Con
Woman.
as the Justice League.
They went to his birthday party as the Justice League also, and I think they all
Mm.
this isn't the one where they all go as the Flash, which is fun.
Got it.
Anyway, number 23, we have Tatiana Maslany as Sarah Manning, Allison Hendricks,
100%.
Cosima something, and many
23
more
is low,
in Orphan
Yeah.
Black.
but 100%.
Okay. Better here than in She-Hulk?
Yeah, I've raved about her Orphan Black performance for
You have.
100 and what are we on? 176? What episode is this?
176, man.
Yeah, for that many episodes, I'm sure I mentioned Tatiana Maslany.
Number 2, we have Alec Baldwin as Jack Donaghy from 30 Rock. I never actually finished 30 Rock, but God, he was good in that.
I don't know that I've ever watched an episode of 30 Rock.
It's funny.
I feel like that was a contemporary of The Office, right?
Kind of, yeah. It was from 2006 to 2013 on NBC,
Yep.
so they were kind of hand in
That
hand.
was a stretch I did not watch any television for.
Yeah, you watched a lot of Jack Daniels.
No, yeah. Yeah. But I also watched, I don't even remember what I watched. I think I watched like NCIS, and that was it during that stretch.
Gotcha. Number 21, we have Laura Dern as Amy Jellicoe from Enlightened.
Okay.
Never saw it. HBO show. Number 20, we have Emma Stone as Whitney Siegel in The Curse. It's on Showtime, 2023 to 2024.
That is another Nathan Felder show.
Yep.
Fielder, sorry, that he's in.
Yep.
I heard that show is fantastic. I don't know if but it's also not acting, but acting. So
Right.
I don't know if that would be a top 25 performance, in my opinion.
Okay. This one I figured would be a little higher on the list and not at 19, but Peter Dinklage is Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones. He
Is this
was
our
like
first
the
Game of
soul
Thrones?
of that show.
Is this our first Game of Thrones?
That's the first Game of Thrones.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I'd put him in there.
I'd put him higher.
Uh,
I would.
yeah.
Depending, well, again, we'll see
Maybe.
who.
Let's see who's left on this list.
Right.
We've only had like one person from Lost, I think. Even like
Yep.
there's a lot missing from this list still.
Number 18, Amanda Seyfried as Elizabeth Holmes from The Dropout.
Oh, okay, so that's recent.
That's Hulu 2022.
Yep.
Number 17, Kate Winslet as Mayor Sheenan in Mayor of Easttown.
No.
No?
Just
Okay.
fine. It was not
Not
even close to a top 20-ish performance of the last
Fair.
25 years when, like I said, we don't have anybody from The Wire still. We don't have anybody from Game of Thrones except for now Peter Dinklage.
No
We don't have anybody
Sopranos.
from and Sopranos I don't think is on this list.
I don't know.
Unless they only picked like one person from each show.
Right. Number 16, Jessica Walter as Lucille Bluth from Arrested Development. Another show. I tried to watch it and I just couldn't get into it for some reason.
Yeah, I missed the start and I didn't jump back on during the initial Netflix days.
Yeah, so it ran on Fox from 2003 to 2006 and Netflix from 2013 to 19.
Yeah.
Number
I saw something with Michael Cera the other day. He was a guest judge on Top Chef or something, and I was trying to figure out what he's done besides Superbad
Uh-huh.
and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Not a lot.
No.
Is what I thought of, except for he was on Arrested Development the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is kind of his one thing that made him still famous-ish.
Yeah. He probably got typecast from Superbad.
Well, Jesse
Maybe.
Eisenberg
Yeah. Oh,
Eisenberg took him out as the same role and same person.
yeah. Yeah.
Kept thinking they were casting Michael Cera and kept casting the other guy.
Right. Number 15, I totally agree with this. Kerry Russell as Elizabeth Jennings in The Americans. The Americans is one of my favorite shows.
I don't know if I put her above him, but okay.
She was so good in that.
She was. I love that show.
There we go. Now we're getting into it. At number 14, I personally would have put this person in the top 10, but Michael Chiklis as Vic Mackey from The Shield.
Okay.
The Shield was just so good.
Oh, it reminds me, no Sons of Anarchy yet, I don't think. We're missing a lot.
Yeah. And we're getting into things where I can actually say I watched this.
Well, it's only took 85 to get there.
That's it. But yeah, Vic Mackey and his ending in The Shield, oh God, was so poetically awesome. Forrest Whitaker did a season. Meryl Streep did a season. Just so good. And number 13, we have Regina King as Angela Abar, Sister Knight in Watchmen. Did not watch it. The HBO show. They did the one season. Yeah.
But not top 15 of the last 25 years.
No.
Like definitely in top 50.
Okay.
But I'll wait till we hear a few more to see if this is a recurring theme in this part.
Here we go. Here's the first one where you're going to really just number 12, Steve Carell as Michael Scott from The Office at number 12.
Sure.
Can you take away? Never mind. You can't.
Go ahead.
No, you can't see just the overall portrayal of the character.
Look, he's brilliant in the role.
Okay.
This is the opposite of what I was just going to say. So I'm going to wait a few more and then bring up possibly a point if I see the trend continue.
And you're in this. You're in season 6 now, right?
7.
Okay. So
God, I'm so close.
This is his last season. No, you're not. No, you're not. So close.
There's only 70 episodes left, I think.
Something like that. Number 11, we have Michaela Coel as Arabella Isidiou from I May Destroy You. That was on HBO in 2020. I
know the show. I did not see it.
Okay.
So I feel like this list, no, because this is the second person from The Office, right? Because we had somebody else from The Office earlier. Way back in the list, we had somebody else from The Office.
Maybe. But I don't know that show. And now we get into the top 10, the vaunted top 10 of the greatest TV performances of the 20th century. Right?
Okay.
Number 10, Sandra Oh as Dr. Christina Yang, Grey's Anatomy.
100%.
Okay. I never watched any of the 904 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
I don't think she's been on it since like season 6.
This just says 2005 to 2014. So I guess
maybe she was on there.
Oh, she left the show at the end of season 10.
Oh, okay. So she's that long then. Yeah, she was brilliant. And she was brilliant on Killing Eve too.
Okay.
And she's the voice of in Invincible to relate to this show. She's Mark's mother on Invincible.
Mom. Right.
Yeah.
Number 9, Rhea Seehorn as Kim Wexler from Better Call Saul.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Never watched.
Better be somebody else from Better Call Saul on this list.
Number 8, I agree.
No Bad on this list?
Who?
No Breaking Bad on this list yet either? No Walking Dead on this list yet?
Nope. Number 8, Andre Brower as Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Wow.
That's a really high. I would have maybe put him in the top 20. His portrayal of Captain Holt was great.
Agreed.
But number 8 is really
that's aggressive.
Yeah. Number 7, here's something I never heard of before. Carrie Coon as Nora Durst in The Leftovers from HBO.
Yeah, so The Leftovers is my next drama that I'm going to go binge. It's leaving HBO in June. It's actually been touted as like one of the best shows HBO has ever done.
Okay.
But I have not seen it yet, and I think she just had a great turn in White Lotus this season.
Okay.
She was fantastic on White Lotus this season.
Okay.
We know her as the mom from Ghostbusters.
Oh, okay.
And as Proxima Midnight from Avengers Infinity War.
Oh.
Which is very weird that she played that role.
The one that didn't come back because Marvel said you're lucky to be in a Marvel movie and she wanted more money?
Maybe.
That just happened.
I mean, she's pretty well known.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was, yeah.
All right. Number 6. We got our first entry from The Wire. Michael Kenneth Williams as Omar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the only entry from The Wire because I feel like they're only doing one person per show.
Maybe.
We'll see. But yeah, Omar 100%.
Well,
Though
mm,
if he was the all-in best on the show, he was the most recurring.
okay.
So I'll give him that. I don't know if he had the all-in best performance on the show, but he was brilliant as Omar. I liked him better actually, I think, on Boardwalk Empire.
Oh
As,
yeah.
who was he? Chalky.
Chalky?
Yeah.
Yeah. He passed away
He did pass
in
away not too long ago.
2021. Number 5, Bryan Cranston is Walter White in the top 5.
Okay.
I can see that without a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
This top 5 really, really needs to be all home runs. That's a home run, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, Lisa Kudrow as Valerie Cherish in The Comeback.
Oh. I tried watching that. It was not my vibe.
Okay. At 4 though, over Bryan Cranston, over Michael K. Williams.
Well, over for a very similar show, which is Hacks.
Yeah.
And over Gene Smart and that. Disagree.
Okay.
Lisa Kudrow not on that list for me.
Okay.
Right there.
Number 3, Elizabeth Moss as Peggy Olson from Mad Men. I did not watch Mad Men.
That's a weird pull from Mad Men.
Yeah.
I would have picked her maybe from The Handmaid's Tale.
And isn't she the one in The Boys?
No.
That's not
Elizabeth
the who?
Elizabeth Shue?
No, not Elizabeth Shue. The one that pulls her hair out. That's not her.
No.
Okay. The
No.
face looks a little bit the same.
No, not at all.
Okay.
No, she's the lead in Handmaid's Tale. All of the advertising for The Handmaid's Tale is her in the costume.
Gotcha. Number 2, Jeremy Strong as Kendall Roy from Succession.
Sure.
I didn't watch it.
It's also on that list, that Max list that keeps getting longer of mine.
Number 1 is a complete shock to me, and you could have given me 100 guesses and I wouldn't have gotten this right. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Selena Meyer in Veep. Now, I heard Veep was a great show, but as the number 1,
Didn't know. So clearly, The Sopranos did not qualify for this.
Apparently not. No, Fargo was on this list.
Again, no, I don't think we even had.
Sterling K. Brown isn't on this list. Nobody
This Is
from
Us. Yeah.
nobody from Supernatural is on this list.
Well, no.
Well,
Well, you can't pick just
But
one from Supernatural.
how do you put
both brothers?
how do you put Walter White at 4 and don't put Tony Soprano on the list at all?
Well, I think The Sopranos is a 90s, started in 99, so I think it disqualifies.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It was strong for a little bit there.
So,
So anyway, so my problem though that I was going to say before,
go ahead.
kind of holds up through this, right?
Uh-huh.
Some of these, I think the writing carried it, not the performance. So like Steve Carell, I don't think the writing on his performance is great.
Understand.
I don't think the writing is consistently good.
Okay.
The writing is all over the place on that show.
So a couple, and I'm kind of glazing through the comments of that list while we're talking now. No Timothy Oliphant for Justice, or for Justified, or Walton Goggins for Justified, right? I mean, he knocked it out of the park.
Right.
Who else are they saying got left off here? Ari Gold? No, nobody from Entourage? Or was
Entourage,
that?
I feel like was a 90s.
Okay. Nobody from Parks and Rec at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
No. Yeah. Like there was some big misses. If we didn't get
misses.
I know Entourage was 2004.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, handful of big misses on this list.
House.
For sure.
Nobody from Big Bang. Like, I mean, Jim Parsons on Big Bang was.
Yeah, like I said, it sounded like
All
this
right.
was the whole cast, right? So this is a bunch of critics that watch critic shows.
So I'll tell you who did this. This is by a group. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people did this list. I mean,
Look, I think
was a
from a
fun
critic
list.
standpoint, a lot of these are critics' darlings.
yeah. Some of those choices though are rough.
Agreed. No Battlestar Galactica on this list.
Nothing. Wait,
Yeah.
I thought maybe wasn't Edward James? No, no,
I don't think so. So yeah, so not great.
no,
So
not great.
some of the ones that could have been great would have been, their performances were great, but the writing wasn't quite there. Where like they went through and carried the thing. But like I said, like the fact that I don't think we had anybody from The Walking Dead on this list either, like it's wild to me.
It's crazy. But since we
No
since we
Star
did,
Trek shows, no Picard,
no,
no.
Picard was late. Picard was just in the
Yeah, so it was
last 3
before
years.
some of these shows.
Oh, since we did mention someone from a show that you're watching, I think it's time for my favorite segment of the show. Is please tell me how much you hate The Office more.
Um, yeah, so I'm in a season 7, and then we'll hit up some of the other stuff before we get to the couple big things. So I'm in season 7. I got through the first 3 episodes of season 7.
Not a strong start for season 7, in my opinion.
No, look, it was great to see Evan Peters, but again, it goes back to what I was just talking about. Like the writing's just not great, and I think the show is leaning into, oh my God, we're the biggest show ever. Because you get the cold open, which is them singing that no, 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 no lip dub thing trend to start the season.
Yeah,
So that everybody was doing at that point because video was just a thing.
The writers for the first 3 episodes, Daniel Chun, who was a head writer for The Office, wrote for The Simpsons, got some Emmy nominations. BJ Novak wrote the second episode, and he's plays Ryan. And Charlie Grandy wrote the 3rd episode. He wrote for Saturday Night Live, Daily Show. He's a stand-up comedian. Go ahead. You go though.
So all right. So we get into like Gabe and Aaron are dating now because she broke up with Andy.
That was weird.
At the end of last season, which I didn't get. But so now she's dating the office manager, which doesn't make sense. And Dwight owns the building because sure, beats are very popular, I guess.
No, he's a good salesman. That's why. If you remember last season, Kathy Bates told him invest in real estate.
Right, but no. I know
Great
that
salesman.
But he still would have to have money to buy an office building, which is millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, he's a great salesman. Not just a good salesman. Great.
I would assume it's his family's beat fortune.
That too. That helps
to invest. Daryl, they're when they're doing the dancing thing, like Daryl talks about how he blew his knee out. I was like, this is like the 4th time that character's blown his knee out on this show playing softball.
Yep.
Or at least that's his story.
Yep.
Jim keeps doing this thing where he's adding random keys to Dwight's keychain because he's a dick. Even though now that's like the guy that owns the building. So like, I don't, and then Pam ruins it and Jim gets mad at her. So then she tries to prank Dwight and gets stuck in an elevator with him when he keeps peeing in the corner. And then Michael banks his nephew and that's really the end of the show. Like not a good episode.
No, it was not.
Fairly weak all the way around.
Yeah, even the prank thing was a little weak, and I usually really get up for the pranks.
Yeah, and like I said, and just continues to go like, oh, look how awful Pam is. She's just hey, we don't need, whatever. All right, then we get into counseling.
Yeah.
This cold open, Jim and Pam are late because they had to pick a daycare across town because they're bougie. So Dwight sets up a daycare in the building with Mose running it, and basically it's just horrifying. And then my note says here, then the bad ones lock Dwight and Mose in and turn the lights off because they're awful people. So I guess they got out somehow. Michael has to do his counseling with Toby, which was great.
Yeah, that was
good. But I'm a Toby fan, which pisses everybody off that I talk to for some reason.
Yeah, everybody. It's fun to hate Toby, but Toby's probably one of the best characters on the show as a whole.
Toby has the same mindset I do. Like, what the F is wrong with the rest of these people?
Would you sit there and rub your hand on Pam's knee while talking to her? And remember when he did that?
Oh yeah,
he ran and hopped the fence.
Yeah. But look, she was single back then, ish. So he was going for it. That's fine. You can date HR. You just can't date the boss. It's different.
Right.
And Dwight got turned down by the mall. Right, so there's that whole backstory where Dwight, Andy, and Jim, because Jim and Dwight are best friends, so he's going to go help. Like, what?
I can't wait till you get to the finale.
So they go back, right, and find out what happened. And it was because Dwight's crazy and showed up covered in beet juice in overalls, trying to get in to buy this wizard
It was a cool wizard.
statue. It was. I give it. And then we get to Pam continuing to prove what an awful human being she is. Because I had a note about what an awful salesperson she is, and then she decided to lie and say she's been the office administrator.
All right, look. First of all, hi to Savius and Dom for showing up. Would you not do the same thing if you could get away with it? I 100% would have done that.
No.
Knowing that you can pull one over on these.
No, knowing it sounds like even as a bad salesperson there, you probably make 80 grand and she negotiates for a salary of 40.
Well,
I mean, they're talking about like commission checks of like 6 figures.
She wasn't making no commission checks.
No, I know, but still.
So, well, I'll ask after your third
work with her husband. That'd be a brilliant idea. But yeah, so Jim doesn't work the whole episode, and Pam stops being a salesperson. So I'm really excited to see what happens when they become homeless and destitute. And then she also tries to make Gabe pay her a bunch of back pay for the year that she didn't get as the office manager, like just proving that, that she bullies him into giving her a job because she's just awful. And as watching this, I realized what an awful human being Michael is to Toby. There's no way Michael hasn't been fired somewhere in the last 7 seasons for doing all that to HR.
No. Fine.
And then fills out the form that he's crazy.
Yeah.
And then they do some real counseling and yada yada. And then the episode just ends. But another not great one. Then we got Andy's play.
I hated this episode. I really hated this episode.
Sweeney Todd opening, Michael auditioning with the whole thing from SVU. I feel like they did that 4 seasons ago when he went to the acting thing before. I feel like that was already a storyline.
He did improv before.
Right, but I feel like there was another reference to him just like doing the same.
Maybe that's a good callback then.
Maybe. Whole office goes. Aaron babysits for Jim and Pam, which makes Andy sad. Then she shows up anyway and brings the baby. Continue to drive home how awful Jim and Pam are because they tried to steal somebody else's seats. Like the show really sets them up as the villain the entire show.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Between Pam and Jim, who do you think is the more deplorable person? Huh?
Pam.
Okay.
Awful.
I can tell you now that you're going to change your tune as the seasons continue to progress from here.
Great. And
that's all I'm going to say about that.
Great. They're both awful.
Season 7 does not start off strong at all.
No.
It takes a little bit for this season to actually kind of get rolling.
They go way out. It's the thing that keeps driving me nuts with the show is that, like I said, the inconsistency of the writing, right? So we get like Andy's got his phone he's checking while he's on stage and he leaves it on ring. Like he's so anal about this stuff. There's no way it's totally out of character for him to do that.
Yeah.
So like I'd say it was funny, but it wasn't because it didn't align with something he would do. It would make more sense if like Jim and Pam were in the crowd and their phones were going. Like that makes sense to me.
Right.
Or Michael, right? Like then that plays within the character, but it doesn't make sense for Andy to be the one that happens to. Balloons fly, the up and pop that Michael had because he was getting balloons when he stole his bottle of wine. And then Erin had to leave the after party she stayed with to fall back in love with Andy to see Gabe, who I guess lives with her now, but he didn't feel good, so she was going back home to take care of him. I don't know.
I don't.
It's very weird because I can't tell how long they've been together. But another not great show. And then Pam and Jim decided to get hammered in their car with the baby in the backseat. So brilliant moves.
Definitely not a good start to this season at all.
Yeah. So that's where this was. But couple other things that aired in the last week that I know you didn't get a chance to watch. I will not ruin Doctor Who for you.
Thank you. I am actually going to watch this, and while I'm watching The Big Bang Theory, another show keeps popping up on HBO that I'm going to end up flipping out of Big Bang and going to watch that. Righteous Gemstones keeps popping up.
Oh yeah, I need to couple seasons to go back and binge of that.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But Doctor Who, yes, definitely. Go ahead.
Well, I finally upgraded the premium Peacock tier, so I'll be able to burn through the rest of The Office faster than I've been for the first 6
Maybe you
episodes.
should watch the super fan version.
No. No. Hacks came back last week. Not a strong start,
Okay.
but I feel like it was a bridge to get the show reset to what the show's really good at, which is the dynamic between the two leads, and having them in the same space, going at each other, but having a common goal. Right now, the first 2 episodes, they were just at each other's throat, pulling pranks in the office, sending underwear to producers and all sorts of crazy stuff to try and get the other ones fired. They had a big blow up in front of HR. Some of that was really well done, but opportunity for what makes the show really good is when they're interacting more in a mother-daughter than a antagonist way. So I think they reset that going into episode 3. So tonight,
Okay.
see how that goes. Yellow Jackets finished its season. Thank God. Maybe they'll get a season 4. I find it doubtful. Season 1 of Yellow Jackets was fantastic and set it up to be like one of the best shows of the last 20 years. Season 2 said, F that. We're going to ignore all that work we did season 1 and do some crazy dumb stuff. And season 3 went, we're just going to make it into a bad soap opera drama. Where their flashbacks are like looping out of each thing. And like, you can tell that cast members are like, they're losing money because they keep getting rid of people. And you're like, oh, why would you kill off that person? They were great. Well, for no reason. There's no good reason to kill off that. Like, oh, well, their story's done. Great. Let's move on to the next people. And the people that they're leaving left now are the ones that they've ignored for the last 2 seasons. Like, they did a great job setting up Ty and Shauna in the modern day in the first 2 seasons. First season, second season, not as great. Ty had like a whole family. They've just ignored the fact that she's blown them up. It's crazy how much they've written off from the first season and all these great storylines they developed. They just like said, we're going to leave those over there. We're going to ignore that and go this way and go a completely different direction. And they continue to do that, which makes the show kind of tough to watch at this point. But they may or may not get a season 4. They had a 5-season plan because they've managed to make me like disinterested in Melanie Linsky, which is hard to do because I think she's fantastic.
I love her.
And this show has made it not interesting to watch her. And then last other thing, Suits LA.
Better?
Finally, I think found its stride. It's doing better. It's got Maggie Grace, who you should like.
Oh, okay. I know her.
From Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Or Lost.
That's where I want or Lost. Yeah.
She's great. Gabriel Macht is back for I think the end of his season. His appearances is back. Next episode is his full episode. I think he's in to bridge it back to the original Suits for a minute.
Okay.
But that the show's found its stride once it got through its first story arc. It seems to be doing better now.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. And then trailers dropped.
We had trailers. I watched, not trailer wise yet. I watched. I'm looking for. Forgive me while I'm looking to pull something else up.
You did say earlier that you watched something.
I watched the Breakfast Club reunite for the first time in 40 years. That was an interesting panel.
I bet.
All of them. Emilio Estevez actually joined them. Judd Nelson got a little politically that he didn't need to. It was neat. They didn't really tell any like earth groundbreaking stories or anything. It was kind of cool to see them all together again now.
Is that on Max? Where was that?
I was on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just saw it was a video. I have YouTube Premium now, so I watch all the videos all the time because I get no ads.
Yeah, awesome. I would, but everywhere that I watch it, I'm not logged in. So, like my phone, when I go through another app to get to YouTube, I'm not logged into my thing, so I see ads, and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Except for since he joined tonight and put out a great review of something we'll talk about shortly, Days Avenue, our man Dom. Go check out his channel if you haven't.
Really fast. Twisted Metal. Remember that TV show?
Loved it.
July 31st.
Yeah. I'm
So
down.
you're getting, and they're actually going to do the Twisted Metal part of the game.
It's the tournament. Yeah.
Tournament. Yeah. So I'll go back and watch that and catch up on that. So
they set that up at the end where they were leaving to go join the tournament, and
Spoiler.
they set up the more of the characters from the game.
Spoiler.
Look, I love that show.
I know. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about that, and we can talk about
who left to join the tournament.
Before we talk about the trailer.
Two trailers.
Two trailers. Before we talk about the trailers, a Star Wars Celebration is coming up, and here's a couple of things that this website says that we should get from that we want what we need info on. I'm just gonna real fast. They're definitely going to give us a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer, right?
No,
you don't think so?
The movie doesn't come out for another 2 years.
No, it comes out next year.
Mm.
They're having a panel. Yeah, there's going to be a panel.
Well, you got a teaser of it actually at the last celebration.
It's going to be John Favreau, Dave Filoni, and special guests for a sneak peek at what's to come for the Mandalorian and Grogu on their biggest adventure yet. This time on the big screen in theaters in 2026. If the things that I have read about that movie are true, I am terrified for this movie.
Yeah, maybe you'll get a teaser.
The stuff that I read about it being a one long TV episode and it having to revolve around Jabba the Hutt's kid too, and it's like there'll be
callbacks to the callbacks. Oh, Jabba the Hutt's kid. That means we're gonna get Boba.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, Boba Fett will be on there doing his thing.
I am getting Boba Fett's ship in Lego form.
Oh, whatever that's called now.
Beginning of May.
Yeah,
it's Firefly or something else now. I don't know what it's called. It's the Slave One. Okay, the Slave One.
Yeah,
that's what the ship's called. Anyway, are we going to get who Sigourney Weaver is playing in Star Wars? She's going to be in The Mandalorian and Grogu. Are they going to reveal who she's playing?
Random town person.
Nobody
that matters.
Okay.
Or a really old Mon Mothma.
Are we going to learn more about Sean Levy's Star Wars movie?
I don't think so.
It's starring Ryan Gosling.
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't even think it's written yet, so I don't know.
I don't know. It's coming out next year, right?
No.
Are you sure?
There's no way they're putting out 2 Star Wars movies next year.
They're supposed to do 2.
No.
Let me see. He started working on a script in July 2024. Ryan Gosling's in talks to star. Rumors have filming could begin later this year, so we're a little bit of ways out on that.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to know what's next for Grand Admiral Thrawn after Ahsoka?
No.
Or is he just going to go away?
He will be in whatever the next evolution of the TV is.
Okay, so you can join Dave Filoni and special guests as we look back at the first season of Ahsoka, which then will give us info on Ahsoka season 2 and who the big bad villain is. Maybe
it's Thrawn.
Maybe
like he's the big bad. If he's not the big bad villain of season 2, they're doing it wrong.
We can also join Dave Filoni again and find out maybe what the next animated series is going to be from them. Right?
Sure.
We can get a sneak peek at Star Wars Visions. Maybe.
It's fine. I tried the first season of Visions.
I couldn't.
I watched an episode or two. Not quite my thing. The Tales ones they've done, the Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Dark Side, have been fun. I've enjoyed those.
The new one that's coming out looks good with Ventress and Cad Bane. That looks interesting.
Is that an animated show?
Yeah.
Is that a comic book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a comic book.
No, I think it's an animated show, maybe.
I think it's a comic.
Yeah. Anyway, the Star Wars stuff, as much as I love Star Wars and as much as I want Star Wars to be good, it's not, aside from Andor coming out, I'm not really chomping at the bit, drooling over. Like, originally I was excited for Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm excited for Ahsoka season 2 because I thought season 1 was fantastic. You did not think it was as fantastic.
No. It's Tales of the Underworld, so it's the next in that Tales series I was talking about.
Okay.
So that would make sense. They're gonna do vignettes of the bounty hunters.
Okay. I'm fine with that. That sounds cool.
Yeah, look, they did Count Dooku, they did Barriss Offee. I'm not as excited for what Star Wars has coming out. I'm more excited for Star Trek Strange New Worlds this year than I am for anything outside of Andor that Star Wars has coming. And Ahsoka. Yeah, we get Andor soon. Next week. We did get, I know
I know one big trailer. What was the second trailer we
Well,
got?
Thunderbolts dropped a new trailer
I didn't watch
yesterday.
it. I can't watch anything more.
Um,
It's like Superman stuff. Like all
oh
these,
my god, it's all spoilers.
yeah, all these things are popping up about Superman and Supergirl, and like here's her in a costume, and
So,
then
well,
there's
this is a spoiler, and it's not. I don't know if you've read up on Sentry at all, who we know is in the movie, right? Bob is Sentry,
right, and his name was on the chair. So
right? But so that character though is his own worst enemy.
okay,
Literally,
okay.
he has an alter ego known as the Void.
Oh, good.
That is the bad part of Sentry that Sentry's constantly trying to fight. The Void, it seems, based on this most recent trailer, is the bad guy that the Thunderbolts are fighting.
Oh, cool. Okay,
So they're going to meet the Void's going to be the big bad. They're going to meet Bob,
gotcha,
who doesn't know that he's the big bad,
gotcha.
and I feel like that's going to be the storyline. Another trailer though, where Taskmaster's in like 7 seconds of it.
Who?
Yeah, even though she's
Taskmaster.
in the new asterisk on the table to make it 6, but like
Taskmaster.
not in a single freaking scene of this movie. It looks like.
I think Taskmaster is the asterisk in this movie.
Yeah, I've heard the best theory I've heard is that the actual Taskmaster is actually going to be Baron Zemo, which would be amazing. And it's going to be Baron Zemo in the costume. It's not going to happen,
No, that would be cool though.
but it would be super cool because the Thunderbolts in the comics, like Baron Zemo, is like a very big part of them.
That would be cool. Like I'm still excited to see the Thunderbolts. I really think that this is going to be the year Marvel starts to climb back up the top. I think Superman's going to give them a hell of a run for their money this summer, but I think Thunderbolts is going to be a fun movie. And then the other trailer that we saw, we finally got a full trailer, right? This is the first
This
full
is the
trailer.
first full trailer.
Fantastic Four. I personally thought it was awesome. I thought that I do think that the Silver Surfer in the Jessica Alba movie is a little bit better refined, but we only got a glimpse. So that's a hard character to do in movies, all chrome like that, right?
Yes, I don't know how long that is into the movie. What the trailer makes me think is that all of that is in the first like 20 minutes of the movie, and then we're in space and it's a cosmic movie.
Now, see, I think that's going to be more towards the end of the movie, and that the better part of the movie is going to be their exploits on Earth and maybe some flashbacks. I could be
don't
wrong.
think you give away all that in the trailer. Otherwise, you don't give away Franklin Richards being born, or being in
Right.
her belly in the
Right.
trailer, right? You don't set up that, hey, here's their whole backstory. All right, moving on.
Well, not whole backstory, but backstory
No, I
inner.
mean, it gave like
inner
100
cut.
issues worth of backstory, like hey, this is the Fantastic Four. This is who they are to us. They're our heroes. They do this, this, this. This is the four of them. Oh, look, they do it right. Like, I feel like we're gonna get like a 5-minute vignette at the beginning that's gonna be an intro of like, here's our stuff, right? Like, here's the characters. Here's where they're at. All right, moving on. Now we're on this. Then Silver Surfer shows up, and then it's like, all right, and away we go off to space. I feel like because they were leaving to get in a ship.
They were.
So, and look, the Fantastic Four is a cosmic comic book. There's a
Right.
handful that are like Earth-based. Like recently, this latest run where Johnny Storm has this awful handlebar mustache, is more Earth-based, but it also has like Ben and Alicia married with kids that they adopted a Skrull and a Kree. Really weird stuff.
Yeah.
The Richards have 2 kids. Valeria and Franklin are both there, but both teenagers. So like all these different things going on through all that. But like, I feel like this is going to go cosmic. I don't think we've seen anything that's actually going to be in the movie still, other than the first couple minutes. I think it looks great. I'm in.
Yep.
I said this to you earlier, like Pedro Pascal takes me so out of it that I wish there was somebody else cast as Reed Richards, because one, I don't buy him as the smartest man on the planet. Because it looks like he's playing this character the same way we get Joel, and the same way we got Oberon, and the same way we get Ginger, right? Like he doesn't come across as a different character to me ever. And when he's playing any of these dramatic roles,
But he was different when he was Maxwell Lord.
again, when he's playing these dramatic roles, he doesn't come across
No,
is
I
any
get it.
different from role to role, and he's just I'm overexposed to him because he's been in fucking everything.
I don't love his casting. I agree with Matt. We do need more Vanessa Kirby, and I hope she's very much highlighted in the movie. But
It looks like they're not going to sideline her, which I was worried about when they said that she's pregnant.
I'm excited enough for the movie that I really have hope. I've enjoyed the Marvels. I enjoyed some of the stuff that they've put out, and I've said it in the past. I enjoy some of that stuff. This movie, I really am really looking forward to, and the Thunderbolts too. And I think this is going to be a fun summer of movies with Mission Impossible, with Superman, with the Fantastic Four. I think we're going to get a good stretch of movies coming out here to kind of bring movies back.
Yeah, I hope people go to see them all.
Same.
Yeah, I think that's the difference from like the original Fantastic Four movies to this, right? Like, I didn't know Ion Grifford or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
like from
neither did
anything.
I.
So like,
Yeah.
cool, you're Reed Richards, got it.
Right.
And when they like, hey, raid from Ace, thanks everybody.
Thank you. No, and the more I know Marvels think that or people think the Marvels sucked, and that's fine. I also didn't hate those Fantastic Four movies with Chris Evans and Michael Chiklis and stuff. I didn't hate
I'm saying
those.
like I didn't know any of those characters from anything else, so like they could be Johnny Storm, and
Right.
I knew Jessica Alba a little bit, but like they could be those characters to me. This one, it's only Pedro that's taking me out. I don't know Vanessa Kirby from anything, but the same thing happened to me with the Fantastic one. Like Miles Teller's not Reed Richards; he's Miles Teller.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so, like that. I don't see him as being as much of a chameleon as Robert Downey Jr. is or can be. Pedro has never struck me as like that chameleon type.
Now, are we getting him at the end of this movie?
No, they've already said. I mean, maybe in a post credits.
I also like the fact, and I know we've mentioned it before, that that Galactus is one Galactus. You're not going to have a Galactus for every multiverse.
Oh,
There's
there is
one Galactus.
No, they're in the comics. There's multiple.
No, but in this universe, they said there's one Galactus.
Oh,
this is the Galactus. He's not going to go, and there's not going to be another Galactus in another universe and another one. Like this Galactus is Galactus.
I don't love
could
that.
be wrong, but I'm almost positive.
So we'll see where that ends up. But yeah, hey, thanks everybody coming over from
There you go.
the Ace.
Here's a good Fantastic Four comment by Dave from the Independent Courier. We're here to like. Thank you for the likes. Also, I like that original Fantastic Four. This one is so different. Super Shade, the film that was made to keep the license never shown, is better. That's awesome.
True.
While we're talking about Marvel, we had a season finale of a television show.
We did.
That I think we didn't watch different shows again, did we? Or did we watch different shows?
Not as bad. Look, do we want to do that, or do we want to hit the other Pedro?
Yeah, let's do the Pedro one first.
And we got Wheel of Time episode 7 too, that I know you have thoughts on.
Let's stick with the Pedro thing. I'll give you my quick review of the first episode of The Last of Us season 2, episode 1. I was bored.
And as somebody that has not played the game,
never played the game, so I don't understand. And I've seen the Discord chat that I'm in with Dom and with T and some other people. They all loved it. Some of them played the video game, some of them haven't. I don't understand the terror of a stalker being there because I didn't play the video game, and apparently that's a big thing in the game. I got bored. I was bored in the episode, but I understand that they're doing a lot of setup, and you're 5 years later, and apparently it was littered with Easter eggs from the video game, and that's great. But I was bored. I was really clock watching this.
Yeah, this episode was basically like one mission and an hour and a half of cutscenes from the beginning of the game. Is there every single player game at this point, right? Like your first entry into the game, like, hey, here's how mechanics work. Great, here's an hour of cutscenes. That's all this episode was. It was all of the cutscenes from the beginning of the show, where like you walk through town and I walked in here. Now there's a 10-minute cutscene again. Great.
Right. Go out into the woods. lay down, press left stick in to hold your breath, press X to fire, get a
Right.
headshot before moving on.
There was a lot of that this episode. Some new characters that were not in the game, which was interesting. The Catherine O'Hara character,
Yep.
which I guess we will see more on that backstory because something happened to Eugene.
So, and Eugene is going to be played by Joe Pantoliano. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
That's who plays. That's who he's playing in it. And everybody's saying that's a definite definite departure from what he normally plays. So
maybe we don't know. We don't know. Thanks, David, for the kind comment there. Yeah. With those pieces, I think the episode was good. It did what it needed to do.
Yeah,
it was not exciing, no, but it's not meant to be exciting. I think some of the casting choices. I hope the chemistry gets better. For I can't remember the names now.
Ellie.
I have notes for Ellie and what's her name?
Isabella Merced.
Yes.
Hey,
why don't I have my notes and I don't have her.
Makes me can't wait to see Hawkgirl.
Yeah. Look, I hope that gets better. It's tough, and as somebody that played through the games, the same thing with Abby, like seeing Abby as like a full head shorter than all of the other GQ models that are the survivors that she's with, which is weird for this show, right? Like,
right.
In seeing Falcon there, again, took me out of like the show. I'm like, oh, I don't know why Falcon's there. But that was the weird part for me with the way that this was working. Is getting taken out of it with some of the choices that they made.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but overall, I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Now the showrunner said that they may not be able to do the second game in just 2 seasons. They may need a 3rd season for it. That's a lot.
Look, they moved fast this episode, though, way faster than I expected. Because I would have expected them to the point they got to with this.
Yeah.
As fast as they got here makes me fairly certain they're going to rewrite a lot from the game. Like, I think we're going to see probably episode 3. I bet you see a massive outrage online.
Oh, they're already outraged at the
end. No, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to follow the storyline from the game at all.
Gotcha.
As fast as they went through this. Dina is the character.
Dina, okay.
Looks, casting choices, whatever, looks nothing like Isabella Merced in the game. Nothing at all. But yeah, I think we're going to see a massive outrage come episode 3, where I think they get to the point where there's a big reveal in the game that happens.
Wow.
They're already hinting at stuff here. Things that happen to characters, I don't think are going to happen because I think they're going to drag out things and have it happen later, do more of a setup, or it's like an episode of new stuff, an episode of flashback, episode of new stuff, episode of flashback. Because there is 5 years, they even extended by a year from the game.
Right.
That they are going to have to hit to show us what happened between Joel and Ellie to devolve the relationship there, and what happened to Eugene, and all. There's a lot of like, let's go to the past, and it's this. All these movies are in this like mindset of like, not movies, shows in general, are like, they feel the need to do all these flashbacks to fill in story instead of just like doing good writing and just like tell me in a couple minutes what you're going to take an hour to show me that I'm not going to be super interested in.
Well, that kind of leads into another show that we're not up to the finale on yet. The way you describe that about them taking things and doing things differently and fans getting angry. That was a wonderful segue into a real quick little Wheel of Time episode 7. Now we have not seen the finale, either of us yet. So we're not going to talk about the finale of the show. And please don't spoil it, even though I read the books. And this is where I'm coming from for those watching that haven't been here before. I read the books and I've tried to come through this with an open mind as not a book reader. And I've done a pretty good job until this episode. And this episode pissed me off in ways that I can't wait until this season's over so I can actually tell you what really happened and not what they're making happen.
And this was the Battle of the Two Rivers.
This
right?
was the Battle of Two Rivers. The Battle of Alana the Pincushion, the Arrow Pincushion.
Yes.
So much happened in this episode that doesn't happen in the books that drove me wild. The biggest thing was there's one character that's there in the background that has a much, much, much bigger role in what happens around the Two Rivers, and that's Lord Luke, who you barely even know is there.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of things.
He's a very, very, very pivotal character in Perrin's story. The stuff with Alana is confusing and awful, and the stuff with Matt's sisters is not no. And then what happens with Loyal is so not none of that. The playing Maiden's Kiss, that never happened. Matt played Maiden's Kiss a lot.
I bet.
Right. Loyal never, ever, ever did that. What he did to close the gate isn't what he does in the book to close the gate. You take the leaf out of the gate. That's how you close the gate. Or I think he puts it in upside down and backwards or something, and that seals the gate for good. What he did doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Because now you just, poof, there's another character.
You Gandalf him.
You, right, but that's
not
not
Loyal the White.
That's not how that works. And it's just, it frustrated me to no end because they had done such a good job. Now, the actual battle, except for the two archers on the roof, was wonderful. The two CGI archers on the roof was really bad.
So not knowing the books at all,
Ooh.
I thought the episode was great. I loved it.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Like I was like, this is what I wanted in all of these battles in House of the Dragon this season. Was this great, like, back and forth from like gritty, like, and some of the stuff with Lana, like I was like, oh, for the love of God, just like let's. None
of that happens. One thing I will say in a positive manner is them showing the women's circle kind of banding together. They do that in the books. The women's circle hold off a ton of Trollocs in front of the inn and are like made out to be these badass women that kind of banded together and held the line. And that was awesome. And I love to see that. But
yeah, I like I said, I thought I enjoyed everything in that episode. And look, I'm usually a second screen viewing guy for a lot of the stuff that we watched. This one, I was like, no, I actually I don't want to miss anything in this one.
One other glaring miss from this whole thing is
right. It was shot in daylight.
What's Rand's father, Tam Althor, also played a major role in this battle, teaching them how to shoot Two Rivers bows, which are supposed to be like legendary. Apparently there was a scheduling conflict and the actor couldn't make it, so they just kind of ignored that he was there. They ignored him.
They mentioned him.
They mentioned him, but like he has.
And then they did still make a point about the Two Rivers bows.
Right. But they're way better than like, and I like the fact that he was all like, Two Rivers bows, whatever. Two Rivers bows are legendary across the land. Like that's how, they're like super long bows that you can't.
After he was like, oh, Two Rivers, got it.
Right. Oh, look, Steam just started.
So, a little wink and a nod there.
But I just want to see what happens in the finale now.
Yeah, I'll be watching that like probably not long after this.
I'll hopefully fit it. I should be able to fit it in tomorrow before WrestleMania weekend. And then we had one more show, one more finale.
Yep. So many things.
Daredevil finale. If you haven't watched the finale of Daredevil, you're 2 days behind. So get with it. You first. What did you're a little bit more critical of the show than I have been.
Hold on. Let me get up my notes because I had to go find my Last
I
of Us.
should really start taking notes.
Did I have anything else from Last of Us season 2? Nothing that everybody else didn't see. Look, by one point on that, like, it looks gorgeous and very HBO. It's the only thing I had left from those notes.
Okay, fair.
Like there was some shots where I'm like, this is to take it to the games where the games like cinematography is great. The cinematography in this show so far is phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right. So Daredevil Born Again. What did I think of this episode? Um, um, I just want let's I it was not a great mid-season finale for me.
Okay.
Um, like it felt like the story finally did something after 8 episodes, and I was like, and now we're gonna stop for a year. I was like, oh. And I'm not going to remember shit that happened in this season by the time we get to the next one because there's so much content that comes out every other day. So like, and I'm not going to go rewatch it. So
Fair.
like, it felt like a 9-hour movie, and I texted this to you right afterwards. Like, this could have been a 2-hour movie,
Yeah.
and done all of the same things that it did in these 9 hours for me, other than the bank episode, which is one of my favorite episodes. But like we didn't need episodes 2 through 7.
No,
They were a different show.
they were a different show with just some scenes intercut that the new guys made, like a couple of scenes here and there, I think. I agree with that so far. Yes.
Like you could have, because 2 through 7, other than setting up Fisk as the mayor and doing a little bit of work, not any heavy lifting through those 7 episodes or 6 episodes. This literally could have happened right after season 3 of the Daredevil Netflix show and just gone and picked up where we picked up episode 1, 8, and 9. Could have been the first 3 episodes of this series, and I wouldn't have felt crazy at all. Like you would have seen. Again, it goes back to writing, right? Like here's a 3-minute explanation. Fisk started an anti-vigilante fat task force a month ago. Oh, and it's all these crooked cops that are now, latching onto him and this, that, and the other thing. I need a slow burn of that for 6 episodes.
I like the build up for Gandolfini's character. But I agree with the same thing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fights. I enjoyed the Daredevil and Punisher.
The fight scene was great in Matt's apartment.
That was great.
Which they then blew up, which happened in the comics before he goes into the all black outfit.
Right. I figured
tried to kill him in his house.
I figured this is going to lead to his disappearance because you explained that whole comic arc, and I guess this is going to lead to him being dead and just being Daredevil for a while without being Matt Murdock, right?
Yeah, but they didn't, unless they're going to try and claim that Matt died in the apartment. But again, now like we wait for a year.
Right. Now, supposedly they're going to do this as soon as this season's done shooting and it comes out, they're going to start the 3rd season. And then they have another season after that.
Is that official? I hadn't seen it.
Yeah, there's a 3rd season that they got. There's season 2, season 3, and then season Infinity.
Season 2 is still season 1. It's an 18-episode season.
Basically.
So maybe they got a full season 2 pickup.
I loved what Fisk did to the commissioner's head. That was the most gory thing that they've shown on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
that was awesome. As a whole, I didn't hate the episode until you got to the point where he closed down New York City, and we have Spider-Man in New York City. Okay, we have Miss Marvel. You just met her father.
She's in Jersey City.
Right. Okay. You have Jessica Jones. You have the Defenders, basically, who are supposedly going to get introduced next season.
You have the Thunderbolts, apparently.
You have
Tower.
You have
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. You have Kate Bishop. You have Echo. You have the swordsman's captured. He's in a cage. Moon Knight is a New York vigilante too.
Yeah, didn't they move him to San Fran in the show?
I don't know, but you have Hawkeye, you have the Avengers.
Yeah.
Not to mention the Thunderbolts. Like, I get it. And I get the ending, and they wanted it to be defeated, and you're just standing there with a group of normal people, and that's fine. And Karen coming back was fine, and her reconnecting with Matt was fine, and I just had a problem with them shutting down all of New York City. It's not like you shut down, it's not like you shut down Merchantville over here in New Jersey or Levittown.
But this is all supposed to be the same night. That's the other part that's weird, right? This is all the same night that his fundraiser was.
Right.
And within That's what's weird to this, right? It's like, so this same night, Matt gets shot, right? There's no talk about the fact that there's no exit wound. I guess they removed the bullet. They don't even talk about the fact
Nope.
that he was shot. Like, again, they're just like, yeah, you're in a hospital bed. Yeah, you're fine now. I was like, I don't. I mean, you get some of the things during the fight where he's like favoring his arm, but then like,
Yeah.
same point. You're like, oh, he's going to take a hit because his left arm's bad. No, he just grabs a rifle like that's nothing. I'm like, all right.
And what about Punisher? He got shot in the back 5 times.
And in the apartment, he got shot with the stitches on the neck, and he
Yeah.
got shot in the stomach. What, like
he doesn't have superpowers at all.
no,
Nothing.
Look, I don't. I love John Bernthal.
Me too.
I don't love this take on Frank Castle.
I don't hate it, but the only other
Like Frank Castle's not stupid.
No.
He's a tactician.
Yep.
And like the way he reacts to shit in this episode, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, this is not like, why would he go and take on the whole task force with just a pistol and a hatchet? Like, what are we doing? Just so he can get caught and be totally healed up 10 minutes later in the post-credit scene. Like totally healed up.
Yeah,
Which
I don't know.
Made zero. I was like, wait, so he's better from getting punched in the face by 30 people in a row?
I like the season as a whole. Season 2 is coming March 2026, by the way. So yeah,
they just announced that today.
Yeah. I like the season as a whole. I like the finale as a whole, but there's glaring potholes in the finale. Glaring.
Yeah, I look, and I also like
But
all of these cops worked for Gallo for like their entire careers, which is really weird. They're just like, yeah, screw that guy. It's like, okay.
let me
Like weird stuff like that. Like, and Sheila ratting him out, like that surprised me with the turn of Sheila.
Yeah.
You know, and Heather's arc. Like, right, so like weird the relationship with her and Matt. Like they were super flirty and fun for like an episode at the beginning. And then you just got this weird tension between them all the time. And now she accepted a position as the commissioner of mental health for New York City. I guess the day after all this happened, she's like, oh, yeah, he's totally sane. It totally makes sense why he shut down the city and wants me to be commissioner of mental health. Why wouldn't I go do that? Why would I listen to Matt, who's been my boyfriend for the last 6 months or whatever, right? Like, or last year, I think, right?
Yep.
Like,
okay, so
through him, I've been seeing Fisk as a patient. I'm going to side with, like, what?
Here's a breakdown of the timeline of where we're at right now because it's so convoluted. 2023 is Endgame, WandaVision, and like a little bit of Loki, right? Yeah. 2024 is Shang-Chi, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Far From Home, Eternals, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Hawkeye, the opening of Wakanda Forever, and the flashback to She-Hulk. Okay. 2025 is Moon Knight, Wakanda Forever, Echo, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Love and Thunder, and the opening of Daredevil is in 2025. 2026 is...
Wait. So here's where that flaw in logic is.
Well, it goes... The remainder of the first episode of Daredevil hits 2026. Brave New World is 2027.
No. So no, but Daredevil was in She-Hulk. So you're saying that happened?
Yes.
After Foggy was shot?
No.
Or when Foggy was shot? Before
Foggy was shot.
Okay.
Daredevil happens.
Okay.
Or the She-Hulk happens. I'm sorry.
Sure.
In 2026, right after the opening of Daredevil, when Foggy was shot, Quantumanium, Guardians 3, Secret Invasion, The Marvels, Deadpool, Wolverine, Agatha, and then you get the remainder of the first episode of Daredevil after the Foggy stuff. Then 2027.
So who knows when Thunderbolts happens?
So 2027, you get Daredevil and Brave New World, which is Spider-Man. So Spider-Man is happening in 2027.
No, Brave New World is not Spider-Man. That was the Captain America movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's yeah.
Because that also had a year time jump.
Yes.
At the beginning. Or a 6-month time jump or whatever.
Right. So yeah.
It's
very convoluted. Where he even name dropped Spider-Man, and I know that Spider-Man can't. Well, he didn't name drop him, but he
can't
basically
do TV
described
and live
him.
action.
Right, I understand that.
And Kingpin can't do movies
Right,
because it's some weird licensing thing. The same way with Sony.
it all blows my mind.
So a couple other quick points though. Like,
Yes,
I feel like they're gonna try and redeem Bullseye, which pisses me off.
you don't need to do that.
But I feel like they're going to.
Yep.
Just based on the cutscene to him at the end of the episode, where it wasn't like, oh, he's plotting. It was like, oh, look, he's so sad and lonely in his apartment.
Yeah.
And he's on the run. Like, no, don't do it. And some of the scenes they've already shot or shown us from next season, show
I don't need that.
those two together and the anti-vigilante task force coming after them.
You don't need to redeem the villains all the time.
What do you think the odds are of Frank leaving all 40 other people in their cages as he escapes in during the post-credit scene?
Probably 80%.
Right? Like,
yeah.
And who knows? That could have been months later, but I doubt it.
No, it could have been.
Hard to say, right? Because we're getting real wonky with the timelines here.
I'll
on
find
the show.
out in March.
Because we get the good cops that are still left at Josie's. That would have been the spot where you have like Cherry, and you have the one detective who is running the SWAT thing from the bank. Sorry, so we get her again.
Yep.
But then like you have like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones in the background. Oh, that would have made this whole episode like worth it.
Right.
Like, oh, you're getting your crew back together.
Right.
Even put Finn Jones. He's not doing shit. Put Finn Jones in there. Yeah. Look, there was some good stuff to it. The fight scenes.
Sure.
The fight scene in the apartment again was great. But I waited 7 episodes to get Matt in the costume for like a 10-minute fight scene.
Yeah.
Which drives me nuts. I feel like I wasted a lot of time watching this first half of the season. And I think the second half of the season is finally going to pick up, but I got to wait a year. And I'm going to watch 700 things between now and then. So like, I don't remember the original Daredevil show, and I loved it.
I'm excited to watch 27 hours of Daredevil or of Andor a week to cram it and talk about it on Monday.
Well, luckily it airs on Tuesday, so you have a full week to watch your 3 hours. And Wheel of Time's done. Daredevil's done.
So yeah, it's
everything's done. You just have Doctor Who.
I'm excited for it. I got some hockey coming up, and you know you got
the Flyers in the playoffs. Oh, what?
Oh. No. The Flyers actually need to lose tonight to stay in the top 4% of picks for the lottery draft. If they win tonight, they drop all the way to 7, and that's bad.
Yeah, every time somebody tried to cheer,
there's your sports.
Tuesday night when we were at the game, I was like, "Oh, stop it!"
Yeah, I mean, look.
So that brings us to the week. Though we ran a little over,
a little bit,
but a lot to talk about. So thanks for finding the Geek Spot with us, everybody. You can check me out, Jack Kid Music, if you're local to Bucks County, Philly area. I'll be in Levittown Friday night. I'll be in next week. I'll be in Doylestown and making my debut at the East End Pub in Hatfield on Saturday. Other than that, go Union, go Phils, go whatever Frank's hockey teams are called.
Yeah, it's fine.
And you can find Frank at Gimzack. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks, Dom, if you check it out again for the
appreciate it
for the raid. And we'll see you all soon. Getting there.